next speaker is Lewis. Tuesday night truck driver training class. 7 minutes and 29 seconds of the best driver training you'll ever receive in your life. I highly recommend this class. It's worth exactly what you cost. Nothing. Bring your pen, notebook. Bring your pen. No paper will be provided. Admission is free. Please welcome Lewis, Chief Instructor Lewis.
Tonight, y'all have all applied. I have y'all's applications here to be truck drivers. So tonight we're going to orientate you a little bit with the interstate highways of the United States of America. Lewis Chief Truck Driving School. I used to be a truck driver trainer many years ago. Interstate highways. You have a handout there in front of you, and now you are invited to open it. It looks like this right here. Everybody have one? And you are invited to turn the first page. It says Lewis Chief Interstate Highways. I have about 2 hours of information here I'm going to give you. I have some funny stories I want to tell, but I don't have time to tell them, so y'all just have to laugh after y'all go home. But we're going to go real fast. So this is the west to east highways. You'll see I'm a tad dyslexic. When I made the sign last night, I wrote east to west, but it's actually west to east. Interstate 10, Los Angeles all the way to Jacksonville. Interstate 20 goes from I-10 out there. Interstate 40, 70, 80, and 90. 90 is the longest interstate highway that goes west to east. 3,020 miles from Seattle to Boston. There is another interstate down here. The southernmost interstate highway is Interstate 8. About 200 miles. It goes from San Diego to Yuma. The reason I'm going to tell you about that is because it goes through Sealy, California. Sealy, California is the lowest point in the interstate system above the ground, which is minus 52 foot below sea level at Sealy, California. And it goes to Yuma, where it ties into I-10. Yuma, I wanted to tell you the story about how they got the name, but I don't have time. Basically, the sheriff got shot in the back, and that was his last words. Yuma! I don't have time to tell that story, though. The north to south, or the south to north highways, 5, 15, 25, 35, 55, 65, and 95. There's more than that, but those are the main ones. 95 goes from Miami, Florida to Canada, 1,920 miles. The longest interstate going south to north. The reason I say west to east and south to north, that's the way your mile markers are positioned. Over here is 0 miles, and then it changes it and goes back to 0 at every state line, but your miles get bigger as they go east, and they get bigger as they go north. So now you can turn your page again. You're supposed to be taking notes because I'm going to give you a test. Interstate highways, even numbers. Go west to east. Odd number highways go south to north. Easy lesson. I'm going to add to that just a little bit. Loops and spurs. Everybody's been in these big cities where they got loops. 495, 695. We've seen them here. Right here in Baltimore. I think we got those both. DC has 495. We have 695. Someone told me that there's a 395 down in Baltimore. Okay? If it's an odd number, that means it's not a loop. That means it just goes off the interstate, goes somewhere and stops. If it's an even number, then it goes back to the main highway. So now you've learned something. I'm hoping that some of y'all will be as smart as me by the end of this class. And boy, it's going fast. Mile markers. We've already covered this. I got ahead of myself. Okay. We talked about the highest point. Colorado. Maybe we didn't. Maybe I was telling you something else and forgot to tell you about the highest point. Highest point above sea level is 11,158 feet above sea level. Interstate 70 just west of Denver, Colorado in the Rocky Mountains. Tell you a quick story. You can't haul M&Ms across the Rocky Mountains without freezing them, 20 below. Because if you do, the candy will pop off of them and the whole load will be worthless. So you either got to go down south and go down I-10, or you got to freeze them below zero so you can get them across the Rockies. The lowest point I told you is Sealy, California. I-8, minus 52 below sea level.
Excuse me, may I look for some documents I would like?
Absolutely. They're laying right there on the thing. I get an extra 10 minutes for that.
I stopped the timer.
Okay, lowest point below sea level, lowest point of the interstate highway system below sea level, underwater. We'll get some help with this. Is the tunnel, Fort McHenry Tunnel on Interstate 95 is minus 107 feet. So when you go into the Fort McHenry Tunnel, well, hopefully you don't go under it, hopefully you go through it. But 107 foot below sea level, that's deep. That's deep. Little trucker lingo, if you get out there, you want to go in the truck stop and talk to some truckers, be cool. If they say they're going out to Shaky, that means they're going to California. If they're going to Mardi Gras, that's New Orleans. If they're going to drive in the Hammer lane, they're driving in the far left lane, get out their way. They're driving in the Granny lane, they're not. They want you to drive in the Granny lane, far right lane. Definition of an aggressive driver. That's the guy that gets mad and wants to come cut me off because I pulled in front of him. Danger zone? It's a truck with overdrive and it goes real fast. And the most important lesson, and it's in your handout, the most important lesson of the evening is never ever use your brakes in front of Lewis when he is in an 80,000 pound truck. He does not appreciate it. Now, I've zoomed through all of this information, and while you're still not qualified to drive a tractor trailer across the country, hopefully you have a little bit better understanding of the interstate highway system. God bless you all. Thank you for coming to Toastmasters.